I think this is going to be one of the most important videos that I make about bearded dragon health. What's up, YouTube? I know I've been hitting you guys with all these bearded dragon genetics videos here lately, but today I actually want to talk about one thing that most people actually are unaware of, essentially, and I think it's a really bad thing to be unaware of, and that's obesity in bearded dragons. And a lot of people think, oh, I just have a big bearded dragon or blah, blah, blah. No, there's not really any such thing as a big bearded dragon anymore. It's all obese bearded dragons at this point. So in this video, I'm going to show you different bearded dragons, and I'm going to show you different levels of obesity in bearded dragons. So essentially, I want to start off with the bearded dragon that's the correct weight for its size, and I'm going to go up from there, and I'll show you that they're all approximately the same length, and therefore they shouldn't be this different in size. And I'll show you all the signs you should look for whenever you are looking to see if your bearded dragon is obese. And I really hope this video finds everyone that owns a bearded dragon, because typically you want to catch this before you own any bearded dragons and before your bearded dragons get to adulthood, because once they get to adulthood determines what you do. So if you have a bearded dragon that's already 350 grams, right then and there is where you stop the cycle of overfeeding. If you keep overfeeding, it's harder to get them back to the weight they're supposed to be, instead of, you know, getting them to overweight. I mean, that's just how it goes, even with people. I've gained a lot of weight here in the last couple of years, and I've been trying to lose it, and I've been going to the gym like crazy. And essentially, you can't do that with the bearded dragon. So with a bearded dragon, you can't take it to the gym. You can't do all that. So if you are in a home where your bearded dragon can be a little bit more active, take it outside of its enclosure, let it run around. That will help your bearded dragon a whole lot as far as in terms of health. And essentially, that's what you might have to do besides cutting a lot of the protein and fat out of the bearded dragon's diet. So let's go and look at these bearded dragons so I can show you what to look for as far as obesity in bearded dragons. So this is my girl Sarah. You know, I like to show her off all the time. This is one of my favorite bearded dragons. She is super sweet, super chill, never has any issues with eating, never has any issues with other dragons, nothing like that. So essentially, I like to show her off all the time. She's one of my favorite go-to dragons to show off. Now, how do you know if your bearded dragon is the correct weight? Well, first we got to talk about underweight bearded dragons. Underweight bearded dragons, where are you going, Sarah? Where are you going? Underweight bearded dragons typically will have bony structure. So what that means is that you'll find a lot of boniness in the tail here. Usually their tail is where the fat goes to first. Then you'll also have skinny legs. Come on, Sarah. I'm just messing with you. So these legs here, you can kind of see there's a little bit of muscle fat in there as well. And then also on the top of the head, it'll kind of look sunken in if you have an underweight dragon. So typically it'll be sunken in right here in this area. This area here is where the fat pads are stored on the head. And usually you'll see the spine a little bit more pronounced as well. So technically, Sarah is the perfect weight. Sarah weighs anywhere from 330 to 340 grams on average. So it really depends on if she's pooped or not. But that's typically where I like my female bearded dragons to weigh. And that's typically where I want all my dragons to weigh. Usually the males can go a little bit higher. And the females during, you know, having babies or laying eggs or whatever, right before they lay their eggs, they'll also be a little bit higher as well. But essentially, this is what a bearded dragon is supposed to look like in terms of the right amount of fat and muscle. Why do you keep trying to get out? I think she has to poop. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully she don't poop in here. But this is essentially what you look for in a bearded dragon. The spine, you can't see the spine. You can't feel the spine. So this is what a bearded dragon is supposed to look like in terms of weight. There's a chart that goes around in a lot of the bearded dragon groups showing you what the weight of wild bearded dragons is. And typically female bearded dragons are around 250 grams to about 275 to 80. So Sarah was not leading by example, so I had to swap her out for a different bearded dragon. But essentially all my females are about the same weight, so it'll work with this dragon as well. But typically, again, the fat pads aren't sunken in. You can't see any boniness in the tail here. The tail is not overbearing, super wide. Usually, like, the wideness of the tail, I mean, it kind of lines up with the way the spine is. So typically that's how you know your dragon's also not overweight that way. And then again, the legs have a little bit of bounce to them. There's a little bit of fat and muscle in there. That's how you know your bearded dragon is not underweight and overweight. This is the perfect bearded dragon weight. This is Aphrodite. She weighs about 300 to 320. Now, just to show you the next size. So a dragon that's in the 400-gram weight range. So all the dragons so far that I've showed you are 300 grams. You can see how everything looks. And now I'm going to bring one that's in the 400-gram weight range, and I'll show you side by side how they look. All right. So essentially, these bearded dragons are about the same length. So I'll kind of show you from above. You can see where the legs are lined up. You can see where the heads are lined up. So both of these are females, but for some reason, the one on the right here don't want to be in the same area. So being that both of these girls here are about the same size lengthwise and also about the same body structure. I mean, the torso is about the same size. The heads are essentially about the same shape. These girls should weigh the same. Now, this girl on the right here, this is a bearded dragon that I got back. This is a girl that I produced in 2022. This girl is 436 grams. Now, to show you the differences, just right off the bat, you can see how wide the tail is compared to Aphrodite's tail. So Aphrodite's tail is this wide. This one's probably like a 1/4 inch wider. Now, actually, you know what? So we got 0.8 inches probably over here, maybe just slightly under an inch. And then this girl is like 1.25 inches. So essentially they're the same length. Everything should be the same, but you can already see the tail is super wide. The legs obviously have more heft to them. I'm going to put Aphrodite away. Obviously, I don't want to stress these dragons out, but this big girl is trying to show that she's the big girl, obviously. So besides the tail and the legs, you also have this area under the chin. You have this area under the chin right here, and that's extra fat right there. You see it? All this, that's fat. And that's a lot of underhang from the chin. We don't want that. That's usually the first signs that you're getting an obese bearded dragon. And this girl is not technically super obese, so she doesn't have the other sign of obesity, which usually is a pad under the front legs here. So typically there's a fat pad right here under this front leg that she's not letting me see. These dragons are mad at me today. I don't know why. It's not even that early. They've already been awake an hour. You would think they would be all right. But nope, not today. She is a little bit overweight. This is not a huge thing, not a huge ordeal. Typically, my bearded dragons don't get over 400 grams or so. So she's not too overweight. I can get her below 400, and she will be okay. Bearded dragons don't like to sit still when they're out. I don't know. You keep them in their enclosure, they don't move ever. And get them out, and they're on the move forever. I don't understand. Trying to show you all these fat features. Not fat features, but obesity. So typically it'll be in that area. You'll see another little fat pad. You can kind of see it when she breathes. Kind of sticks out a little bit. That area right there is where you'll see the other fat pad. And then under the chin again, on top of the head, the legs, and the tail. Now, let's look at the last bearded dragon that is extremely overweight. So from Sarah and Aphrodite around the same weight to the next girl, so 330 grams or so, 320 grams up to 436 grams. There wasn't not much of a change. Then you have this girl. This girl here is 540 grams. 540 grams. This is ridiculous. Now, what are the signs again of overweight? Fat pads. The fat pads actually protrude out of the head. If I can get it to focus, kind of at an angle there, you can see them hanging out of the head, kind of. Right behind the eyes. So like right here in this area. You see them hanging out. They should not come out of the head. That is how you know you have an overweight bearded dragon. The legs. These legs. These legs are an inch wide. That is ridiculous. The tail. The tail is over. I mean, it's about the same as the other bearded dragon. It's about 1.25 inches. That's still over the 3/4 or 0.8 inches that the other tails were. Now, the worst part about this entire scenario, the worst thing about this bearded dragon being 540 grams. Look at that chin. Look at that. Look at all this. These dragons ain't liking me touching them today. Come on, let's chill. Okay, chill. But look at that chin. Your chin should not look like that, dragon. Your owner did you dirty. What is the other sign? The other sign is below the front legs or the arms. Look at that. That fat pad should not be that freaking wide. No, it should not. Nothing should be sticking out of a bearded dragon like that. That is an obese bearded dragon. Bearded dragons, what I've noticed in the last so many years of owning bearded dragons, I've had bearded dragons weigh 500 grams. I've had bearded dragons weigh 300 grams. I've had bearded dragons all in the middle of that. There is no reason for a bearded dragon to weigh this much. Look at that chin. Whenever this bearded dragon walks, that chin drags. That chin drags on the ground. That is unhealthy. She has to carry this around for the rest of her life. But obviously she's with me now, so it's going to be a little bit better, and I'm going to take care of it. She's going to be on a strictly green diet for the rest of her life, probably, because it takes a long time for the bearded dragons to lose the fat, because they don't actually get exercise. But in the summer, I always take my bearded dragons outside, so she'll be getting some exercise this year. Obese. Fat pad under the front arm. Look at that chin. Look at that. I mean, this is bad. Like, that's a lot right there. There's probably 20, 30 grams of fat right here in each back leg. Probably another 100 grams in the tail. The chin, probably 50 grams there. It's over the top. Over the top there. So, if your dragon has gotten to this point and you're watching this video, your dragon should only be eating greens. No more bugs. No more bugs. Your dragon are... So, bearded dragons are herbivores. So, bearded dragons are omnivores. They can eat greens. They can eat bugs. They will survive off one or the other. Yes, it benefits them to have a mixture, but you can tell in this dragon alone, there was no mixture. There was probably a lot of bugs in this dragon's diet. A lot of fattening bugs. We don't need that. This bearded dragon is overweight. This bearded dragon is obese. This bearded dragon is going to take a long time to get down to a regular weight. I don't care to get her down to 330 grams. That's probably never going to happen. I would like to see her below 450. That's a start. So let's see where that goes. Let's see where we can take it. But your bearded dragon should not be this overweight. I mean, I'm trying to show you guys. These fat pads, they stick out of the head. I don't like, the camera is not even picking it up that well, but they stick out of the head. That is not good. You should not ever have a bearded dragon's head look like that. So hopefully your bearded dragon's not overweight and you don't have to deal with this, but these are definitely things you should look for to ensure your bearded dragon doesn't gain any more weight. So if you see all of these signs that I've talked about and your bearded dragon's already pushing 400, just do greens for an extended period of time. You don't have to do bugs every week. They're not going to die from not getting bugs every week. Get greens in their diet. If they're not eating greens, don't feed them bugs. They'll eat their greens eventually. My gosh. 540 grams. That is overweight. That is 2 times the size of a bearded dragon from the wild. And bearded dragons in the wild essentially are still going to get to the same length because they're still getting their nutritional value, but they're not going to get to the same weight because they're not getting excess nutritional value. And just to show you, right, I'm going to show you Sarah or Aphrodite next to this girl, and you'll see. So kind of, it's hard to show you side by side because one of them obviously looks way bigger, but you can see where the tails line up. The torsos are about the same length. And obviously the one on the left here has a massive head because it's fat, but essentially they're the same length. So how did this dragon get 200 grams more than this one? This one is healthy. This one looks good. This one does not. This one's overweight. Now, I will say Aphrodite, she's real picky about eating sometimes, and I'll feed her greens. She'll eat them all, and then I'll feed her bugs, and she'll be full, so she won't eat the bugs. So that's one thing that like my bearded dragons like to do is they'll eat their greens, but not all of them will eat their bugs after the fact. So sometimes I will have to feed them bugs before the greens, certain bearded dragons, because that's how they are. But that's one thing with Aphrodite. I do have to feed her more bugs because I want her to actually maintain weight. But there you go. Two bearded dragons side by side that are exactly the same length, but not the same size, not the same weight. So their nose, I made sure they touched all the way at the end, at the point of their nose. Obviously, this dragon on the left is already looking at my way. But look, the tails, this one is probably, I would say, half an inch longer. That's it. They're the same size. Half an inch longer doesn't make 200 grams. You get where I'm going with this? You understand why bearded dragons should not weigh 540 grams? It's absurd. And, oh wait, this girl is gravid, so she actually weighs a little bit more. But this is Aphrodite. Super sweet. Super perfect weight. The stomach doesn't protrude out. The sides aren't overwhelming. The torso is kind of rounded like an oval instead of rounded like a circle. That's a circle. That's an oval. Come on, y'all. Y'all can do better than this. Fix your bearded dragons. Don't let them get overweight. You want your bearded dragons to live a long, healthy life. Don't let them get overweight. There's a lot of work ahead of us. Hopefully you're ready for it. So if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.